It's a problem. And then I noticed that the people on the other end, they so distraught. They upset. They don't know what happened. Well, today's word of the day is about standing up for yourself. Okay. If you grew up like me, where it was confrontation and not confrontation, because I'm the type of person that would stay quiet until I smack the shit out somebody. Excuse my language again. It's gonna be a lot of little cussing on this. This is the Retired Hoodrat podcast. So I might be quiet. So you ever seen somebody? Some people argue when they fight. Yeah, B. Yeah, H. Well, me, I wasn't like that. I'd be quiet. It go down, bow. Next thing you know, I smacked you, right? Next thing you know, we fighting. Next thing you know, I'm a silent killer. But what I'm starting to realize is that doesn't work in my professional life. So maybe it worked on Joy Road because I'm from Joy Road. I'm from the D. But it doesn't work in my everyday application. And what I mean by that is that it's one of those things where like I said, I might not stick up for myself because I'm just learning conflict resolution. And if you grew up in the hood like me, you may not know conflict resolution. We think we know conflict resolution. I think that's why so many people getting shot and killed and all that. And like I said, shout out to everybody on TikTok. Hey, Barb, they said Sleepless Nights, what up, dude? And 313 Rick, what up, dude? But is not the best way to handle things. We can't always react after the fact. Sometimes we have to start telling people, hey, I don't like that. Hey, I don't like that. And see, as a Black woman, you know what happens? We're said to be naggers. We nag, we complain. So it's almost to the point where sometimes as a Black woman, I'm scared to speak up for my damn self because I don't want to be seen as a nagger. I don't want to be seen as a complainer. And now by the time I'm ready to speak up for myself, I'm ready to smack somebody. Now I want to spit on you. I'm keeping it 1,000. Now it's been a long time since I've been like that, but I'm still a product of my environment and the way I was raised. I was raised by dope fiends and killers. So that's how we react. But I'm starting to realize people react like that because we don't know no better. When you don't know no better, of course you react and ready to smack, kill, shoot, because you don't know any better. So now I'm getting to the point where, yeah, I know better, but how do I resolve my issues? Do I speak every time somebody's getting on my nerves? Do I say, hey, I don't like the way you chew? Hey, I don't like this. Hey, I think you're stealing from me. Hey, this or that. Or do I react at the end? And what I'm learning now is stand up for yourself. Start speaking up. When people are doing things that you don't like, forget being labeled as a Black nag. You know, because the Black woman, first off, shout out to all women. Shout out to all men. Shout out to Black men, Hispanic. What I'm speaking on is my everyday journey because I'm a Black woman. So I can't speak personally on my white friends. I kick it with them, but I can't personally speak because I don't know what it feels like to be a white woman. You know what I know? What it feels like to be a Black woman. And what it feels like to me to be a Black woman is that I can't speak up for myself because then I get labeled. I can't say, I don't like this or I don't like that because as a Black woman, they're going to say, all you do is nag. All you do is talk. No, fuck that. I'm tired. I'm about to start speaking up. And then what happens within our community, and shout out to Call Me Media, what up, though? I'm on TikTok live too, y'all. So if you listening on Spotify, don't think I'm crazy. I'm live on TikTok. That's why y'all need to listen live on Mondays. And don't forget to listen on all platforms every Thursday. Retired Hood Rap Podcast, Detroit is Different Network, right? My thing is, I don't get a chance to speak up because I'm scared. And not scared like somebody gonna do something to me. I'm scared because I don't want to be labeled as an angry Black woman. I'm scared because I don't want to be labeled as difficult to deal with. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be labeled as the troublemaker, the problem. So I may not say anything. And in the Black community between each other, we don't want to be labeled as the crab in a barrel. You don't want to be labeled as the person pulling another person down. Well, if a person is doing you wrong, Black, white, green, purple, speak up. No, I'm not saying every little thing they do, but when they do something that's crucial that you know may continue to go on, speak up. Because you know what happens? We don't tell people things. Sometimes we're doing a disservice to them. Sometimes it ain't even that they want to do us like that. They think it's okay. I'm gonna give you my Ayanla again. I'm gonna give you two examples. Real life examples had nothing to do with it. I was doing, if you don't know, I'm a vegan chef as well. So yes, I'm ghetto, black, and vegan and educated because I got an MBA, all kind of shit. I'll tell you about that later. Point being, I was doing meal prep for my client. Now I love onions, okay? We love onions, okay? They know old man, he like onions. So I'm putting onions on everything, like onions on this, onions on that, onion, garlic, onion. My client hate onions. Never said nothing to me. You know what that meant? That meant that he paid for food for 2 months with onions in it. And then one day his wife was like, he don't like onions. I'm like, hold on. We could have been changed that. If you would have told me that you didn't like things, he's talking about he didn't want to mess with the recipe. It don't matter. You don't like that. Why would I want to keep giving you that? Second example, even when it comes down to, and what up though, Detroit Shine Free? Somebody say, oh, that's my dog. That's my dog, Wilson, Tim Wilson, vegan pizza. Somebody else said with sexual positions, right? In sex. A lot of times people are afraid to discuss sex with their partners and say, I don't like my leg up like this. I don't like this position. I don't like that. So now you end up having sex that's not fulfilling. Look at DJ Envy and his wife, right? She said she didn't have an orgasm in 10 years trying to pacify him. So that means that's 10 years. She's just been having unenjoyable sex. While meanwhile, like he said, he think he been killing it. You know why? Because she never spoke up. She didn't speak up because she didn't want to hurt his feelings. But in the meantime, her not wanting to hurt his feelings caused her to not get what she wanted. So you know what? We have to stop speaking up. When people do us wrong, we have to speak out. Remember, when someone does you wrong and you don't say anything, they do the next person wrong. And the next person wrong. And the next person wrong. So sometimes we have to speak up and say, hell, no, I don't like this. You're not gonna keep doing me wrong. Don't worry about whatever you're gonna be labeled, because one thing I've noticed, whether you do or you don't, you're gonna be labeled anyway. Black women gonna be labeled as angry whether we say something or not. Okay, so it's time to speak up. Get your Karen on, boo. Okay, because let me tell you something. When I go out with my friends, sometimes I don't be saying nothing, right? I don't be saying nothing. My white friend will be like, excuse me, the tea was not hot. This wasn't it. I'll be like, girl, they gonna spit in your food. I'll be making sure I get eye contact, like, do not spit in my food, spit in theirs. So, point being, they've taught me, speak up for yourself. Especially if you spending money or it's a money situation, sometimes you have to separate yourself as a person in business to do business properly. So those are just my retired hood rat word of the day. Speak up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. Don't worry about what the next person is thinking. Don't worry about the perception. Speak up for yourself. Stop letting people guilt trip you into doing things you don't want to do. I'm the perfect example of that, okay? You can't I'm getting better with it. But you can guilt trip me and really make me feel bad about putting myself first. Like nobody should feel bad about caring about themselves first. And I know I'm a giving person. I got a nonprofit. I feed the homeless. Listen, my persona as a comedian is my persona as a comedian. Who I am as a person, comedy is part of it, but that's not all of who I am. That's why I know that people believe anything on a goddamn reality show because they believe anything I say. If I be like, I put a post up that I was musty. You should see how many people was like, girl, you could do that. I'm not musty in real life. All I'm saying is that I use natural deodorant and I don't feel like I should have to reapply it 3 or 4 times a day. Which I do, because I'm not gonna be musty. I smell like Versace and baby powder. Okay, so that's my thing. So point being, stand up for yourself. They're gonna talk about you either way. Sometimes conflict is necessary. Sometimes. No, I'm not telling nobody to go to their job and be like, you know what, F y'all, I quit. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying, stick up for yourself. Know that your thoughts are valid. Your feelings are valid. God or whoever you pray to or you believe in gave you those feelings for a reason. Stick to it. Understand that that is a part of the process. Okay? And especially for my Black women, stop feeling like if we complain, we're going to be labeled so we don't say anything and take the abuse. You do not have to take the abuse. And shut up, my boy was talking about he finna conflict with somebody. boy, be quiet. You don't have to take the abuse. And that's your word of the day from the Retired Hood Rat podcast. Don't forget to tune in each and every Thursday. That's when we load all new shows on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play. That's Retired Hood Rat podcast. Live on the Detroit is Different Network. And don't forget, we're live on YouTube every Monday. So go subscribe to my YouTube, Comedian T Barb, if you want to see what we look like, see what we rocking with. We have a special guest. Today is my comedy bestie, one of my great friends. She is hilarious. She is out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. She is okay. Let me run it
Oh,
down
let me
first.
fix my little
Okay.
braid. Hold on.
Fix her little braid. Okay, fix your little braid because you about to get a hell of an introduction. Okay, you ready? Did
Yes.
you fix that little piece of braid?
Did I threw it to the side.
Okay, I'm gonna let the people on TikTok see you. You see her because y'all on TikTok, y'all can't see. That's Dany. Okay. So here we go. This young lady is not only a phenomenal comedian, funny, a great mother, a great philanthropist. She is a breast cancer survivor, and she is straight out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. I want y'all to give it up for Dany Redwine, y'all. You like that? And then I do sound effects, air horns.
Oh, shoot, they can't give you too many buttons now.
You already know. They don't know
you
that.
Would get ridiculous with it.
If you didn't know, I'm not only the host, I'm also engineering my own show. So somebody go buy a t-shirt or something. So I ain't gotta do all this goddamn hard ass work. Put out 57 videos a day and everything else. So Dany, for those who are new to the show, you know, I start with the word of the day, then I do the Retired Hood Rat prayer, and then we're going to go straight into this interview. And today we're going to be talking about motivation and inspiration. How do you stay motivated and inspired to do what you love, or to join your path, to do better in life, to go back to school, to try a new thing, you know, to try and get you a little man? Because I'm lonely over here. Yeah, I'm just so lonely.
My kids keep me motivated, for one, because you know.
Okay, hold on. We gotta pray first.
Oh,
you ready?
I know. I'm ready to go right into I'm ready to answer the questions.
Okay, so it's time for the Retired Hood Rat prayer of the day. Remember, it's not about a particular deity. Of course, I'm gonna say God, but you replace it with whatever you feel, whether that's you worship yourself, the universe, or whatever. Bow your heads, but remember, if you're driving, don't bow your head because I don't want nobody to crash and then blame me. And like I said, let's do a quick TikTok roll call before we get started. They say we call Grand Rapids the furniture. Why they do that? They said they call it. You heard that before?
I never heard that before.
Okay, that's from my boy Any City Large Cars. And then he said, how much for a t-shirt? It's normally it's $20, but because I like you, it's $19.99. Okay. So we're gonna bow our heads real quick and let's get our prayer on before we get into our guest, Dany Redwine. Boom. Dear God, thank you so much for bringing us here today. We thank you for getting us home in advance. We thank you for safety. We thank you for protection, God. We thank you for protecting our homes, and we thank you for allowing us to manifest our biggest dreams. God, I just want somebody who is listening to me right now to understand that they can do it. They have the power. They have the strength, God. I just want them to be able to listen to you, God. I want them to be able to follow their first mind and know that that's your voice that leads them where they should go. God, I just want you to give somebody the strength and the confidence to follow their own path, not to be a follower, but to be a leader in their life. God, I just ask that you give somebody the courage to do bigger and better things in their lives, to love the people that they love a little longer, to be a little healthier, just to be just a little bit better in their everyday life as they strive for goals, God. I just ask that you wrap somebody with love. It's somebody right now who needs some love, who needs some inspiration, who needs some courage, who needs to know that they are worthy, they are loved, and they are living their best lives, God. Help put that thought into their mind, God, and help them go throughout this week and have an amazing week full of nothing but blessings, finances, love, and courage and self-esteem. And you know, we pray amen. Y'all like, oh, I was a pastor. With my little horn. Dun, 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 dun. I feel like I could be on the little organ. Here we go. Okay. I don't know what button to push.
I feel like I can't get my position right.
Okay, let me do a heartbeat. They ain't got nothing to do with it, but that was the heart. And somebody said, Amen. Thank you so much. You listening to the Retired Hood Rat podcast live with your girl comedian T Barb, straight up out of Detroit, Retired Hood Rat. This podcast is about motivation and inspiration. What I'm gonna do is reintroduce our guest. Okay, this is my girl. She is comedian extraordinaire, beautiful, talented. She keeps me motivated, and she is one of my best friends. I want y'all to give it up for Dany Redwine, y'all. Okay, so
Yes,
Dany.
ma'am.
Before we get started, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about who you are, where you came from, and a little background on you.
Okay. From born and raised in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Lived here all of my life. So went to one of the best high schools, Ottawa Hills High School, where I was an athlete. The only girl, so I got only brothers. So I grew up a little rough around the edge, just like to fist fight a little bit. You know what I mean? But no, I just I've done everything in life. I've started my own business right out of high school. Got married. I've had kids. And comedy just kind of chose me, I guess. You know, it was a thing on my bucket list that I was, you know, a check off on my list that I was gonna do, and I haven't stopped doing comedy since. So comedy is part of my life now, and it has really helped me throughout all the stuff that I've gone through. I was diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2012, so I'm coming up on my 10 year of being breast cancer free. And yeah, so I'm coming up on my 10 year, and it's been about 8 years that I've been grinding it out. Would love to do it a lot more than I have been as of recent. But I love comedy, and I know that I'm going to continue to excel in it because I love it. And Grand Rapids is kind of up and coming in the comedy scene. So yeah, it's a little bit about me.
Okay, Dany. We love that. We love that. So Grand Rapids
Mm-hmm.
is what is it? Is it the second or third largest town in
It's the
Michigan?
second. It's the
Okay.
second. We're next to Detroit.
Okay. So because you know one thing, a lot of times in different states, everybody only knows like the big city. So a lot of
Detroit.
people, right, Detroit. If you say
Detroit. The
Michigan
Michigan is Detroit. That's it. No
every
matter
time,
where you go in the world, when you say you're from Michigan, they automatically assume you're from Detroit.
you from Detroit,
Yeah.
Detroit. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
I got to the point to where I was just like, what? Yep. Uh-huh. Then I got to explain Grand Rapids and where Grand Rapids is at. No.
How
So,
far is Grand Rapids from Detroit for
it's
people who
about
are listening?
it's about 2.5 hours. I
Okay.
get there in about 2 hours.
You get there in about look, oh, that means you speeding, Fanny. You can't be speeding on the
What I
road.
do, ain't nobody gonna stop me. So
Oh,
I be checking for the police. I got the little app that give me the police
what is
location.
that? So Dany, how did you get started doing comedy? Tell us how you got started in the industry.
Well, sister was down. I was mad down. I was going through my mastectomy process. At that time, I was getting the skin expander out of my chest and getting the implant put in. And I had to sign up. Like you have to sign up for open mic time. So it was on my list. It was the only thing that I could do on my list at that time because my list consists of skydiving, getting on a cruise and stuff like that. At the time, I couldn't do any of that stuff. So comedy was the only thing that I wanted to try that was on my list. And there's this place here in Grand Rapids, Sunday Night Funnies. And I signed up for a quick little set at Sunday Night Funnies. And I put it on Facebook. I was like, I'm about to try comedy. You know, this is just a check off my bucket list. Come out and support. A lot of my friends from high school came out for my first night. And got up there and did my thing. I don't even think I had a full 5 minutes because I don't even remember him lighting me. I think I had a strong 3. I had like a strong 3 minutes. And
That's what they say.
no, I got some laughs though. My whole 3 minutes was some solid laughs. I had just ran out of material. Because I didn't know, you know what I mean? Like I just wrote like a few little jokes just to see if I could get these jokes off. And they did really well. So I ended my set thinking, okay, that was fun. That's a check off my bucket list. And I got 2 more shows after that show. So I've been, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's super super duper 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 dope. I love that. I love that. So you got two more shows after that, and you continue. Let me
And I
ask you
continue.
this: as a woman in the industry, okay.
Hmm.
First off, entertainment industry is something else. Then as a Black woman in
Hmm.
the industry, then as a Black woman in a predominantly Caucasian town, this seems to have a lot of barriers. How do you stay motivated to continue on your comedy journey?
I stay motivated for my kids. I've done a lot in my life. I've owned my own businesses. I have been married. Like I said, I worked in the skin field for years. And, I'm getting older now. So now I'm just kind of like, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? Because I really don't want to go back to corporate world. It's corporate world. It's just not for me. And there's just so many different ways to make money now. So I just decided just for myself, you know what? I am getting a little bit older, but I got some good years left in me. So I'm gonna take these good years left in me that I have while my kids are older to pursue comedy and pursue my goals and what I want to do there. So my kids keep me motivated because I want them to see me start something and finish it and be successful at it.
Oh,
So
that sounds like the perfect mommy and me answer. I love
but
that. I love that.
I try to,
Your kids must be listening or something, girl. Them they listening answers. Them the okay,
right,
well, I don't know. They might be listening to something. That's what them
right,
answers.
right.
Yeah,
Hold on, real quick. I gotta step away just real quick.
okay, never mind. Okay, let her. I'm gonna take it off there. Look with that. This the retired hood rat podcast. She gotta go do some hood rat shit with her hood rat friends. Don't forget you are tuned
I'm
in. To Detroit is different. Make sure that you subscribe to Detroit is different on all platforms as well as Retired Hood Rat Podcast. Make sure you listen to us and then go to my YouTube, subscribe, which is comedian T Barb. Shout out to our major sponsor, Good Helpers Entertainment, Good Helpers Heating and Cooling. Don't forget it's okay to comment. Today, we are talking with comedian straight out of Grand Rapids, Dany Redwine, the one and only Dany Redwine, who is over there currently multitasking. So that's that black girl magic because I think she babysitting. I see a
Do you
whole
see
little
the little
baby
hand?
head.
You see the little
Yeah. I
hand?
see a little hand just trying to stick his hand in the booby real quick. And then so
He
we
holding
are
on.
we are live on here. Don't forget to subscribe. And we're talking motivation and inspiration. So let me ask you this, just keeping it real, because in
Mhm.
today's world of social media, all we see is the good. We see everybody so motivated, happy. They're making $20,000, all of this
Yeah.
stuff. Tell me a time where you felt a little discouraged, and then let me know how did you motivate yourself even though you were discouraged, because we never get to see that part.
Right, right. Yeah, I could say that I was discouraged just because I'm not real tech savvy with internet stuff. So it took me a minute to get into the flow of doing posting regular, just because I didn't know what I wanted to put on my page, what kind of content I wanted to create, what I wanted people to see, basically. So I think I got motivated by you, T Barb. Um, you
Let
are
me give myself a little let me give myself a little applause.
yes, you are fanatic, if that's a good word. You are relentless. So, when I see you posting videos, it makes me want to post a video. It's just one of those things where it's like, oh shit, T Barb, or oh shoot, T Barb
You
is
can say shit. This the internet.
okay. So yeah, I was like, shit, girl, I want to get up here and put my little videos on too. I haven't quite found my niche just yet, but I think it's coming just because I've been kind of playing with some different ideas. But yeah, I definitely got a lot of motivation from you, Barb, on the social media tip because I just wasn't as savvy.
Well, thank you. Thank you. First, I want to say that. And I think that it segues to my point that if you show me a person's closest five people, I'll show you who they are. And a lot
Mhm.
of people may not believe that saying, but it is so true for me. So there have been times in my life where I did not um Okay, so I had to start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And what I realized is that in order for me to be successful, I have to be around people that are like minded. That
Right.
doesn't mean that they have this or have that, because I'm not even close to where I want to be in my life. But I realized that I have to know some people that are at the level I want to go to. I can't
Right.
be jealous or envious, even though, let me be honest, there are times when I see things and I'm like, man, I wish I would have had that.
Right.
Man, I wish it was me, but not to the point where I want to hate on you. I believe in accepting your feelings and then moving forward. And what that means is that, if look at you, I'm gonna get a little baby break. Look, go on, baby. um, I just means that I acknowledge that, hey, oh, that made me feel less than in myself. And then say, well, why did it make me feel less than in myself? And how can I use it as motivation versus being a negative? It shouldn't be a negative. You should not have people around you. Everybody around you should motivate you. And it's okay if that motivation comes out as a different emotion initially. To me, some people feel like, no, me, what I am is I'm honest with myself and understand I can't always control my emotions. So sometimes I don't want to be mad, but I'm mad. You know what I mean? Sometimes I want to let that go, but I can't. So the only way for me to do better with it is to admit it. I think that, like you said, you motivate me a lot too, Dany. And it's good to have friends around you that motivate you, that check you,
Absolutely. Yep.
that say, hey, I don't like the way you did that, boo.
Yep.
And is honest with you and do it in
Mhm.
love. And
Yep.
also where you can be like, you know what? She motivated me to do this or that. So you are a breast cancer survivor, like you said, 10 years.
Uh-huh. 10 years.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that experience, because it takes a lot of strength to go through those processes. There's a lot of women that are dealing with health issues, a lot of men
Mhm.
that are dealing with these issues.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that journey a little bit and what inspired you and motivated you to just keep going, even in the face of an illness like that.
Okay. Yeah, it's what I was diagnosed with ductal carcinoma in site 2. So it was breast cancer, but it was still a blessing because I caught it early. In site 2 means I kind of kept an eye on my titties for a long time because I was getting lumps early in my age, and there's breast cancer in my family. So I've had a few things removed before that were benign. But this time, when I got the ductal carcinoma, I had to make a choice. I had to make a decision with either doing the chemo and chemo is the therapy, the therapy that makes your hair and eyebrows and everything fall out, or I could do the mastectomy and the suppression medication for 5 years, or do the radiation and lumpectomy. For me, at the time, I was going through a divorce. My oldest son was going through some of his challenges, and I did not want my kids to see my hair and eyebrows fall out. Children don't really translate cancer as you're going to be fine. They translate cancer as, yeah, my mom is about to die. So I didn't want them to see me looking sick or having the appearance of dying.
Mhm.
So my choice was to have a single mastectomy, have the surgery, come home, and the kids see me just heal and go through the process of reconstruction. Um, and I was going through a divorce at the time. So,
Wow.
it was not a good time to be diagnosed with cancer. I mean, I had already had
I
enough
was
shit
just gonna
going
say, I
on in
don't think
my
no
household.
time is, but
Man, I
definitely
didn't have
not right
no
then.
time for that. It was just other stuff going on. I didn't want to deal with it. But what gave me the strength was that I felt like I was being defeated. I felt like these things were being put in my life to defeat me, to take me out. Um, and from that, because of my personality and who I am, I was like, hell no, I'm not going nowhere. If I survive this cancer, I'm about to start doing and living completely different. And I did. I literally, I reached out to female friends that I had fallen out with that was never resolved. I apologized for my part of it because I just wanted to be different. You know what I mean? I wanted to make my rights wrong, my wrongs right. I started with that. you know, making those relationships okay. You know, they were not relationships that I anticipated would, you know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Dissolve.
Resolve. But I just wanted to take that off my heart. You know what I mean? As like not looking back on that and saying, okay, you know, I did do this or she did do that, and we just never reconciled our relationship. That was the word, reconcile.
Reconcile. Okay, because I was
But
trying to come with something.
yeah, but no, you know, so I started with that, and then I said, you know what, just because I got a divorce, that does not mean that I'm not a good woman, and it doesn't mean that, you know, it's the fault of our relationship. Sometimes shit just don't work out. You know, sometimes you meet somebody and they're your best friend for the first 5 or 10 years, and that's what their position was supposed to be for that 5 or 10 years. You know, he's a good man. He's a good father. He's a good dad. You know, I don't have no complaints about him. We just weren't compatible together. We just didn't do good together. So I had to, you know, keep it moving. You know, it couldn't stop there. I couldn't see my kids. I didn't want my kids to see me just start dwindling down and, you know, just disintegrating, you know. I didn't want that. I wanted them to see their mom get strong and do some things out of all of this sadness and trauma. You know, I wanted them to see their mom come out of it on the good end. And I did. I actually came up with an invention. I developed a product for women that went through reconstruction like me, because that reconstruction ain't no joke. Okay.
Wow. I
Let
can,
me just
I
tell you,
can
they
only
put them
imagine.
skin expanders in your chest, and they literally have to put fluid in your chest to blow up the skin expander. So it's like they're filling a balloon inside your chest. So when they removed everything, they remove everything. They remove the muscle, they remove the fat, they remove all of that because it couldn't have cells in it. So after they removed everything, then they put the skin expander in place. The skin expander has to be filled up to however big your boob was. And I was a pretty busty lady. Like I was wearing a double D. You know what I mean? So
Okay, big booty, big. I mean, big boobies. I said, okay, big boobies.
So they had to match my boob that I had removed with the boob that I had. Because if they would have did a double mastectomy, it would have been overkill. They didn't need to do that because I caught it early. But what was I saying? Going back to the cushy. I had invented a seatbelt attachment for women that go through reconstruction because it's so painful. When you get that the CCs put into the expander, it's so much pressure on your chest. It almost feels like somebody took a bag of bricks and put it on your chest.
Wow.
It's just so much pressure on your chest when you have that done. So the cushy came alive. That's my baby. And I started out, I submitted it to a local investment group here in Grand Rapids called Star Garden. And they took a liking to it in 3 days and invested in me, gave me some seed money. And the seed money was just pretty much, here's a little bit of money for you to develop a prototype to show us what the market is for this product that you have. So I did that. I went through and got a couple of materials and made it up. My girlfriend Amina kind of sketched out the design for me, and my mom is a seamstress, so she kind of put it together for me, and I was able to present for 20 grand to prove a market for it. And initially they didn't select me. But I did so good on my presentation. I had a couple of other guys that came up to me and was like, if you don't win tonight, I'm interested in helping you with your product. So I didn't win. And the next day I was like, well, I wonder if I'm able to do that since I just went through them. I wonder if I can, reach out to somebody else now. So I did. I sent her a message and I was like, hey, I have somebody else that I met last night that was really interested in the cushy. Is it okay for me to? Because I know that I'm kind of under your umbrella right now. And they were like, no, we actually want to invest in the cushy. So I advanced to the 20K. And when you don't have, and this is where people need to like learn, you have to learn what you're doing, because I didn't know anything about business. Everything was, I knew a little bit, but I didn't know enough to invent a product and start it up from scratch and prove to everybody that it's a product that should be bought. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, right.
It's not like selling hair or doing nails or braiding hair. It's a totally different ball game.
It's a new field. You're creating a totally
It's
new
new.
lane, so there's no blueprint for it.
There's no blueprint for it. So
Mhm.
I've made a lot of mistakes trying to get, just an inventory, get the word out, try to bring some awareness to it, and that sort of thing. But I can't say that I was unsuccessful because I did sell all of my units, my inventory. I had 300. I got
Y'all know how I feel about
380
the brand.
units and I sold 350 of them.
Wow.
So yeah, so I can't say it was a complete, disaster. And there's still hope for the cushy. I'm kind of keeping it under wraps, but it's a medical product, and it's something that I think that they should discharge women that have mastectomies with. So that's my long-term goal with the cushy. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
No. That's what's up. And I think that that brings so much inspiration. In sharing our stories, we can inspire others. And I think that sometimes we're so misled into believing that nobody cares about our story or our story is muddled with others. Because I'm pretty sure somebody like, well, it's other breast cancer, you know what I mean, survivors,
Yeah,
but people want to hear your story.
yeah,
So in the midst of you going through your breast cancer battle, which of course is a lifelong thing, um, you jumped into the comedy game.
yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like making other people laugh or being a comedian helps you heal a little bit better?
It helped me heal a lot. I mean, you got I mean, I was going through a divorce and my kid was in trouble. You know what I mean? So everything was set up for me to be down in the dumps and depressed. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of where it was at. So I needed laughter. And I've always been a fan of comedy. I've always been a fan of stand-up. I grew up in a household of laughter. Me and my brothers, we used to sit and watch all the funny shows, the Fresh Prince and all that. And stand-up was kind of a thing that I fell upon because my mom and her husband at the time would buy albums. They would buy comedy albums, and
Oh,
I
you
was
telling your age, Auntie. You listen,
yeah.
Auntie. You
But you
telling
can't
that
tell
age,
though.
'cause
But you
baby,
can't
if
tell.
you used to get mad at somebody back then, you just scratch their album up and they be mad as hell. But
They
anyway,
still make comedy. You just did a comedy album. They still do comedy
well,
albums.
it's digital. You can't scratch my
Right,
shit. My shit
right.
on
I know.
title, baby. You gonna have to
But I
just
wasn't scratching. You know what I
restart
mean?
it.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be a DJ, but no, I needed something. I needed something that was going to help me. And I watched all Ellen and I watched things to try to get me motivated and feel better about my situation. But comedy did it for me. I loved being in the environment. I love fellowshipping with my fellow comedian family. I'm a social butterfly. I'm a life of the party type of girl. So going to the comedy club took me away from everything else that I was dealing with. So I'm very endeared to comedy in that regard.
We love it. We love it. I mean, comedy is a special thing. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that first off, shout out to Detroit's Queen Coco, my girl Coco.
Yep.
I always give her credit for saying this because I think like it's plagiarism if you don't give a person credit for saying
Credit.
the thought that
Yep.
they had.
Mm-hmm.
But she always says that comedy is the most disrespected art form. And I have to agree with her
It
being a
is.
comedian. And that people don't understand that there are no redos in comedy.
Right.
You on the stage, that's it. It's not like a movie. It ain't no cut.
Right.
You have to
You
fix
don't
it
get
on
no
the fly.
breaks.
Ain't no redos. Baby, you gonna be
Right.
talked about all on World Star. She whack as hell. We thought she was fun. Listen,
Yep.
ain't no redos. And comedy is subjective, meaning that
Mm-hmm.
this person may laugh and this person may sit stone cold.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you just have to take those chances. So
Oh
to be able
yeah.
to get out there and get some laughs.
Girl, because I talk about my breast cancer and people sometimes they don't receive it well because either they've had a family member that has had breast cancer, so they don't see the funny side of it. People that can't really relate to it, but they're on the outside looking in at a loved one, so they don't really find the humor in it. And I always try to tell those people, this is not a pity titty. You know what I'm saying?
This ain't a
This ain't no
pity titty,
pity
cause
titty.
it tastes
You know
good.
what I'm
It
saying?
tastes good. The
This
titties
is a
taste good.
happy city, you know? So, I try to get people to understand that, a lot of us have adversities that we have to get through, and
Yeah.
depending on the person and whatever they have to go through, whatever, if they get through it by any means necessary and they need something like comedy to help them get through it,
Mhm.
don't hate on that. You know what I'm
Do
saying?
not
Like,
hate
let
on
them
that.
live and let them do whatever it is they need to do to make themselves feel better, for their mental state.
It's a lot of people that need to laugh.
It's a
Period.
lot of people that need to laugh.
It is. And
Yeah.
shout out to Tara, Essence of Tara. She says she loves the show. Tara is, of course, a
Hey,
friend to the show and
Tara.
also
I
one of
need
the
my beads.
co-producers
I
when
need my
she's
beads and
together.
I want a hat too. So
And she
I'm
do
coming to
West
Detroit.
beats.
I'm coming to Detroit. So I'm gonna have to take my measurements. I'm gonna throw up and get on the treadmill for 2 weeks before I come though. So
It's all
before I
good. Just
measure.
start working out.
So I'm gonna
Just be
measure
ready.
before. Okay. Sidebar.
We ready. Don't forget you are tuned in to the Retired Hood Rat podcast live on the Detroit is Different Network. Don't forget we are live every Monday on YouTube. So subscribe to my YouTube, comedian T Barb. That's TBARB. But we upload every show each and every Thursday to all platforms: Spotify, Google Play, Apple Music. We are on there. So make sure that you go subscribe to Detroit is Different. Watch the Retired Hood Rat podcast, and shout out to our major sponsor, Good Helper Heating and Cooling and Good Helpers Entertainment. If you are in the Metro Detroit area and you need some heating and cooling, just Google them, Good Helpers Heating and Cooling. Let them know that T Barb and the Retired Hood Rat podcast sent you. And if you want to advertise with us, make sure you get at me. That's tbarbentertainment@gmail.com. TBARB entertainment at gmail.com. Like Dany said, I have an audio album that is being released July 17th. It's gonna be on Tidal. It's
Woo-hoo!
gonna be on Apple. It's gonna be on Google. It's gonna be on everything. So make sure you get my audio album July 17th. And go to my website if you want to keep up with me, see what I'm doing. That's tbarbisfunny.com. tbarbisfunny.com. Can you believe it, Dany? It's a light week for you, girl,
It
this
is
week.
a light week for me. I was thinking about driving to Detroit this weekend.
Come on, because this will be the perfect week. We can finish
Okay.
up our project that we're
Yes.
working on.
Yes.
Um,
I'm thinking
and
maybe
this week,
Friday after the baby is gone, I'll just jump on the road.
yeah, I have one show this week. Can you believe that?
I can't
Just
believe
one.
that. I
Yes,
can't believe that.
one. I have one. So I'm
Okay.
gonna be popping in other people's stuff. This is probably my first week with one show. I'm at One Night Stands this Thursday. Check me out. I'm doing a little opening spot. One Night Stands this Thursday in Waterford. Um, and shout out to my boy Marcus Patty. He said, "That's what's up, loving it, and congrats." Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Marky, for showing some love. So yeah, so don't forget to comment. We'll show you your comments. We appreciate your love. Um,
Yes.
Dany
Yes.
Redwine, comedian out of Grand Rapids. If you're just tuning in to the Retired Hero podcast, let me. So you talked about your kids and your journey. But what are some tips that you use every day to stay inspired on days where you just not feeling it?
Girl, it's been rough. This is probably a bad time to ask me that because I've been lazy and I love food. I've been I've been eating a lot of stuff I'm
What
not
they
supposed
say?
to be eating. So I haven't been real motivated as of recent in regards to that. But
Like a
no,
little
but
panda bag.
I make sure that I do something every day. And I learned that from you. Get something done every day. Even if it's just posting your videos, writing a little bit in your book, reading a book, getting out and paying a bill or doing something. I just have to do something, to try to get myself motivated. But the other stuff, it's
You
just a
they
bit.
just do something every day. I think that's a good place to start because a lot
Hmm.
of people ask me, how do I stay motivated? How do I go about doing this or that? And it's like you said, I
It's
really try
hard.
my best to do something every day. Um,
Hmm.
because and another tip is a to-do list. When you make a to-do list every day, it gives you a measure of what you've accomplished for the day. And when I say to-do list, people think, oh, build the house and buy a car. No, it could be something as simple as call your alarm company. Your camera's been out, call your alarm company. Call your auntie and say hello. You haven't talked to her in a while. Go get a pedicure. Treat yourself to something, because self-care is another component that we neglect. And it's I'm talking about, I cannot stress this enough. It is extremely important to do something for yourself, whether you have money or not. And that could be giving yourself a pedicure at home. Fellas too, because y'all got some little sharp toenails, okay? Don't be keep rubbing your little dinosaur feet on your woman, scratching her leg up, okay? Now she need Vaseline and shea butter, because you just don't do that. Do not do that. Self-care is important. Soaking your feet, taking a bath, greasing your scalp, taking an hour to get off your phone and read a book or whatever. Self-care is so important. And yeah, I try and do something every day. Every day. Sometimes
Yeah.
I get mad at myself. The word that you used is I am relentless.
You
I
are
am
relentless.
relentless.
You
Even
are.
on a day when I am not feeling it. I am a day when I lay in the bed all day, I still do something.
Yeah.
Something. I am
Something got to get
relentless.
done. That's the only way to be productive. And, even like nitpicking away at stuff. If you do a little bit every day, you'd be surprised at how much you have it done at the end of the week. So that's one of my things, is like, if I could do a little bit each day, by the end of the week, I'm like, okay, I was pretty productive. I got some shit done. So
You got some shit done.
I got some shit done.
You got some shit done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's nothing nothing wrong with that. And that's a great concept to have, as far as getting something done every day. That way it's not so huge.
Right. You
When
don't
it's
feel
huge like that,
overwhelmed.
that's what I was going to
And
say.
and you gonna have days where you overwhelmed. I mean, come on now. There's days where you have stuff going on with your family, and you got to get up in the morning, pack the car up, get the kids ready, go to the event, set up, feed everybody, leave the event, pick up your kid, drop your kid off, then go to the store. Then you got to get ready for a show. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna have overwhelming days. I mean, there's no avoiding that. But if you don't, and you able to maintain a little bit something every day, you good.
You good. You're
Yeah.
good. You're good. You're
On them
good. You're
overwhelmed
good.
days, just don't kill nobody.
Try not to.
Try not to kill nobody. Go to jail.
Kill them in your mind.
Right.
Kill them in your mind.
Right.
I think everybody has had a day where it's like you murdered 47 people
Girl,
in your mind. You didn't hit them with your car. You didn't did everything. As long as you don't.
I had one of them yesterday. I was ready to kill my neighbor upstairs. So,
Girl, have you
yeah.
had any problems out your neighbor today?
Nope, I ain't had no problems out of the day. She cussed me out through the window for like 30 minutes. I was cracking up laughing. I ain't care. Girl, I don't care about no
So
cuss
what
out.
happened? Tell the people what happened with your neighbor. What happened with your neighbor?
Okay, so my neighbor, I live in an apartment complex, so I have people upstairs from me, and there was a little kid that was jumping on the floor for probably from about 8:30 in the morning to about 9:30. I started getting a little impatient because it's Sunday morning. I'm trying to relax. I have my brand new baby over here. I'm chilling. And this kid just kept jumping on the ceiling. So I took the broomstick and I hit the ceiling like 3 times. Doom, doom, doom. That didn't stop it. Still going, still jumping. It sounded like it was 3 or 4 kids wrestling on the floor upstairs. That's what it sounded like. Straight. It was like boo, 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 boo. So I did it again. This time I did it about 10 times. Doom, 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 doom. Because now I'm mad because you ain't paid no attention to my knocks before. So I was like, okay, I'm about to go upstairs because maybe the mama don't know that the kids is up there acting crazy. I'm about to go tell on the kids.
You might not, maybe.
You might not. You know what I'm saying? So I go knock on before I can even get up to the door, this heifer is cussing, ready to cuss whoever is at her door out.
Whoever want it can get it.
And here I am. Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, I want it. It's me.
It's me. She flew the door open and she let me have it. And I called her ugly and went back to my apartment. So
well, I think that ties into our word of the day. If you missed that word of the day, don't forget to listen to us on Thursday on Spotify, all the platforms, or just rewatch this on YouTube. Share it with a friend, share it with another friend, share it on your page, all your social medias, so more people can come and get this motivation. Because every week we'll be live on YouTube, and every Thursday we will be uploading new episodes, including next week, Reverend Horace Sheffield, the Reverend Horace Sheffield. If you're from Detroit, then you know what time it is. We'll be live on the Retired Hood Rap Podcast next Monday. So it's going to be a big show. Make sure you tune in. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend that we're going to have Reverend Horace Sheffield on next week's episode. Don't forget to listen to previous episodes. We've had everybody, Swifty McVay from D12, Alfonso Settles, Diesel, all of the Tubi Detroit movies. You've caught them. D. Jones, Darnell Jones, comedians, actors. We've had everybody. Okay, Renika McQueen, playwrights. Check us out because the show is lit and we're bringing that motivation each and every week. And one thing I decided with the show was, because I can be all over the place, that this was going to be my place for inspiration, my place for motivation, and my place to give people what they want to hear and what they need for the week. Okay. You want to hear crack them jokes? Catch me all week on Instagram and all that. But when you want to come and be a little bit inspired, I champion you to come and listen to the Retired Hood Rap Podcast. And don't forget, relapse is a part of recovery. I'll be doing some little stuff. And if you see me doing some little stuff, don't you say anything. Remember to comment and like and share. So Dany Redwine, what is next for Dany Redwine, and how can people connect with you?
What's next for me is I am trying to my youngest kid is getting to graduate, so I'm gonna be an empty nester. Yeah. So it's my time. You know, Donnell Rollins told me it's not how old you are in this business, it's about how old you look. And I'm holding up pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So I figure, I might as well take a leap at, pursuing comedy. I started writing a book, my memoir, which is going to be hella juicy. So I'm trying to navigate myself through that.
The juice is loose.
Right. And also I want to get into some acting, so we talked about that as well. So I'd like to get into a little bit of acting, and I just want to relocate. Like Michigan, I love Michigan. This is my home, but I'm just I'm ready to be somewhere else. I'm ready to kind of spread my wings a little bit. So that's what's next for me. You can reach me on pretty much all platforms. I think I got Snapchat, TikTok. I'm all Dany Redwine. Usually Dany _Redwine is how you can find me. And that's DANY _REDWINE. And Redwine is my real last name. It's not a stage name. I was born Danielle Redwine. So yeah, that's what it is.
Dany Redwine. It's always a pleasure. You guys make sure that you go support Dany, that you follow her, that you share her episode, tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend about Dany. Go blow her TikTok up, all that stuff. Go subscribe, like, follow. We all listen, we all need it because I just joined the wave a little tiny bit. But I'm working it. I am working it only in Detroit. Thank you again, Dany, for being on today. And
thanks for having me.
Oh, and shout out to Tara, who wants to say, always motivate me, sister. And congratulations, Dany.
Yep. Thank you, Tara. I love you.
Love you too. That is my girl, Dany Redwine, in the building. Don't forget, it's the Retired Hood Rap Podcast. I am your favorite Retired Hood Rap comedian, T Barb. That's TBARB. Make sure you follow that comedian T Barb on YouTube. And don't forget comedian T Barb on TikTok. And it's I am T Barb on Instagram. If you want to keep up with me, you want to go support, want to get one of my shirts, you don't have to stay where you start or any of my cookbooks or anything. It's tbarbisafunny.com. If you want to sponsor or be a part of the show, tbarbisafunny.com or tbarb entertainment at gmail.com. That's how you get down with us, become a part of the movement. Don't forget, Detroit is different. Be on the lookout for that audio album July 17th, as well as everything that I have going on. Don't forget, I no longer do anything Monday night as regarding comedy unless I am booked. So I no longer have a Monday night comedy night. Just want to clarify in case somebody's looking to go out and think I'm gonna be somewhere. I ain't gonna be nowhere. I think I'm gonna pull up in the Punchline in Southfield tonight because they do have an open mic, and I might go show my brother some love. So if you want to meet me over there, you can. And of course, until next time, until next week, I love you guys. Make sure to stay lifted and light and love. And remember, is you don't have to stay where you start. You can retire as a hood rat, but relapse might be a part of recovery. All right, I'm out, y'all. Love y'all.